Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes for y'all to dial in. Just wait here while I'm getting myself together. I'm also rushing in from dinner, so wait. Plug this thing up so my battery doesn't die. Just trying to figure out the best place to do this. I'm just gonna do it right here. So just a couple more seconds for y'all to dial in. Let's see if y'all can see me. Yep, y'all can see me. A couple more seconds and I'll get started. And all right, probably gonna get started now. Hey, Will. Hey, Miss Terry. All right, I'm gonna get started. So, hey, Team DSF. This is your girl, Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette. And this is your Team DSF Weekly Business Training. And this week I will discuss branding. I'm going to do a series of branding trainings. I'm very hesitant to do certain ones until the time is right. But this one I can actually speak on, and it is regarding being attractive as a leader. And I've gone through a bunch of personal growth my whole entire network marketing career, which has been a little bit over 2 years now. But most importantly, over the last year, when I actually had a team that I needed to lead. So if you've followed my training in the past, you know that I have a military background. I served over 14 years in the military. 5 of those years were in the Marine Corps and 9 were in the Army. So, and I was a non-commissioned officer. And if you know what that means I was a leader in the military. I was a leader that was charged with doing the day-to-day activities with my team and making sure that they were taken care of, and they knew what the mission was from the commander. It's kind of interesting because you learn a lot about yourself in the process. You know, as a soldier, you're only responsible for yourself. Same as a Marine, as an individual, you know, as a junior enlisted, anything. You're only responsible for yourself. When you become a leader on the enlisted side, you are in charge of a team. Whereas you have a group of people, maybe a platoon, maybe a squad, whatever. It's kind of like when you're in network marketing, you build that initial organization, that first line of personally enrolled distributors in your group, and then maybe they have a couple people that they personally enrolled. So maybe you have a downline that goes maybe 2, 3, 4 levels deep. But then you might become like a commander where you have a large organization where you have multiple levels of people, because not only are you now in charge of yourself plus your team, but your team consists of other leaders that are at, you know, different levels, and you are in charge of those leaders. So it becomes kind of complicated when you're like, okay, now do I only need to understand how to manage myself as a business person, but I need to know how to manage other people who are also leaders who want to manage their team their way, and it might not necessarily be your way. So what makes you attractive as a leader? What makes people want to follow you in the system that you have in place, and the standards that you are enforcing and that you are living by? You know, that is something that is hard to do, but it's also, it's hard, but it's simple. Okay. And I've found that over time, me being military and learning network marketing, that just because I've overcome those challenges in the military didn't mean that those lessons would transfer over seamlessly to network marketing. I still had to understand the network marketing industry, attraction marketing, and how to better improve myself as a person in this industry, and as in general as a person, to be the most effective for this business. So what am I talking about? Well, it's cool. Once you join this business, you're running, you're doing what you got to do, you're enrolling people. Now you got these people that are under you that are saying, hey, I'm a leader now. I want to enroll people too, and I'm enrolling people, and I need you to tell me how to lead them, how to manage them, how to deal with them, right? How do I do that? And I'm looking to you and your example and what you're doing. Not what you're saying. I'm hearing what you're saying, but I'm looking at what you're doing to figure out how I can be more effective for my group. So how do you do that? It's crazy. I thought that I had the secret, and I didn't. You know, because I was military, when I first started, I was like, okay, I'm going to lead this team like a squad, you know, like a platoon. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put the information out that needs to be put out. This is what you need to do to be successful. This is what you need to, like, this is how much overhead you need to have, you know, 200 personal volume. I always talk about it, $200 personal volume every month. These are the core habits. This is the training that you need to get on every month, every day, every quarter, whatever. This is what you need to do. And if you don't do these things, then you're not going to be successful. If you don't do these things, I'm not going to make you priority. If you don't do these things, I'm not going to pay attention to you. I'm just going to like leave you where you are and just focus on other people. And you know what? In a sense, that is the truth. Like that, I mean, you should not waste your time with people that don't want it. But at the same time, you don't know what their story is. So what am I saying? I feel like we spend a lot of time focusing on prospects. And one of the things that we say with prospects is that if they're not at 12 o'clock, they're not at 12 o'clock. But you need to always keep them in a loop and always be cuddly with them, always be understanding with them, and always meet them where they're at. But what we fail to do is treat our distributors who have already committed to this opportunity and have joined our team. We fail to treat them with the same respect that we treat our prospects. What do I mean by that? When you are connecting with a prospect, and you know, you share your opportunity with them, so you're doing your connecting over time, and at some point in that process you finally get to the invite and you share your opportunity with them, and they don't jump on it right then, but you continue to follow up with them, you continue to love on them, you continue to share information. You've already asked them permission, like, hey, is it okay? I'm gonna get you the third party. They've gotten a third party and they still haven't made a decision. Is it okay if I keep you in a loop and share, you know, updates with you periodically? And I do all this cuddly stuff with them. They agree, and you treat them with that respect. You don't want to nag them. You don't bother them too much, but at the same time, you check in with them. And what do I always say with the CTE? I always say you talk to them, and it's not always about the opportunity. Sometimes you talk to them about life. Sometimes you talk to them about whatever. And then once in a while, as you hear triggers, you bring up the opportunity, or they might just outright ask you, hey, how's that thing going? I know you shared it with me. It wasn't right for me at the time, but I still want to know how it's going. And then you give them an update, and maybe that update is what gets them to a decision. And now they're like, hey, I want to do it. That's how you treat your prospects, right? I've always taught that to y'all. What about your distributors? What are you doing with your team? If you have somebody who joins your business and they're not doing anything, what do you do with them? Do you just leave them? You know, I have been guilty, I'm not going to lie, where it's like you have high hopes for people. They join your team, they seem like a runner, and then they don't run. And then you're like, okay, Well, let me talk to them. And then you talk to them and they're not receiving your information. They're not absorbing it. They're not taking to it. They're not doing it the way you want them to do it. They're not following the system that you want them to follow. They're not looking at the core habits. Even though you are telling them your mentors have proven that this works, it's proven with you as an individual that it works, and you're wondering, what is it that's wrong with you or with them or with y'all or whatever? But the bottom line is, it's probably one of it, two of the things, or none of the things. We don't know, but it doesn't matter. What I found as I've done my research, I've looked at some videos from my mentors, in particular Rachel Jackson, Eric Worre, Brandon Cunningham, a lot of good Gary V, a lot of good mentors out there. And I've realized that they're all saying the same thing. You know, we are the CEOs of our own business, and we cannot force people to do things that we want them to do, regardless of who said it. Like, yeah, I want you to do what I'm saying, not because I came up with it, but because somebody that's more successful than I am came up with it. I want you to follow this system. And it is a legit reason. It's a legit concern of mine. It's a legit, I am legit when I tell you that. But it doesn't matter, because if that person is not ready, they're not ready. And even though they invested their hard-earned money into this opportunity and they've become a part of your team, if they don't want to follow your lead, you as a leader have to understand that not everyone's going to follow your lead. And what you do after you realize that is what makes you either an attractive leader or just the person that has people on your team. So what am I saying? Remember how much effort you put into bringing your prospects into the business, how much you followed up with them and how much you loved on them and how understanding you were of them. That does not end when they join your business. Remember, I told you the connecting process is a lifelong relationship. It's a lifelong commitment, and it ends only when one of you two dies. That is the same thing when it comes to your team and your distributors. And quite frankly, those distributors, they put their money up into your business opportunity. They deserve, if not the same respect, but more respect than the prospects that you're following up with, because not only are they still building a relationship with you, which is priceless, but now they've even put money up into the business opportunity that you told them to put up into. They deserve that respect, you know? They are the CEOs of their own business. Nobody joins a network marketing company with full understanding of what network marketing is and what the opportunity entails to find another boss. And that's something I had to learn from a military perspective, because I'm used to being that sergeant and that staff sergeant saying, hey, this is what you need to do and this is what you're going to do because I said so, period. There's no why. There's no question. You don't question my authority. You just do what I said and understand that I have your best interests at heart. But that's not how network marketing works. You have to be an attractive leader that tells people, hey, that shows them, this is why you need to follow me as a leader, and this is why you need to follow the system that I am using, because I am an example for that. I am showing you the reasons. I'm not just speaking it, which I can because I'm teaching you, but not only am I speaking it, but my actions are in the moment demonstrating what I am saying. So you can say it all day like, hey, you need to enroll X amount of people. You need to share the opportunity with X amount of people per month. You need to give presentations to X amount of people per month. What do we say? 15 presentations per month, right? 60 exposures per month, right? If you do launch 60, those presentations go from 15 to 60. So that means you're exposing to way more than that to get to those 60 presentations per month. And then you're enrolling X amount of people per month and you're making money and you're demonstrating this system works. But if you're not currently demonstrating that the system works with your own actions because you're too busy focusing on micromanaging your team, then you are part of the problem. And that's something I had to realize. You know, nobody wants another boss. And then another end, thing is you would not talk to your prospects just only when you're trying to share the business with them, right? Because you know they're going to see right through that. You're not going to only talk to them with that. You're going to talk to them genuinely, right? And ask them, how is your day going? What's going on with your life outside of this opportunity? I told you, you already know about it. You've already been third party. I'm not going to sit here and run my mouth about that again. I'm going to wait till you're ready. But in the meantime, I want to know what's going on with you. Well, guess what? Your team deserves that same respect, if not more, because they put money into your opportunity. So when was the last time that you reached out to your team and asked them how they're doing? Not because there's a training coming up, not because there's an event coming up that they need to be at, a meeting, or because it's the beginning of the month and you need to know how many meetings they're going to put on the calendar, but when was the last time you reached out to them just to see how they're doing? And you know what? Not in a mass text, not in a mass Facebook inbox, but when have you personally reached out to people in your downline and asked them how they're doing? And if you have a big organization, I understand. That might be overwhelming. But how about this? When was the last time you reached out to your personally enrolled? You know, or your leaders? Maybe those are your personally enrolled plus one level deep, or maybe it's your personally enrolled plus the leaders you've identified on your grid. Whenever you reached out to them and said, hey, are you good? What's going on with you right now? How's everything going? You know, I am personally one of those people where if I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, I'm not going to tell everybody, even everyone on my team. They're not going to know because I don't want that negativity to trickle down to my team. You know, I'm going to handle it, you know, on my own, in my own bubble. And only my close, really, really, really close friends are going to know everything that's going on. And even they might not know the total picture because I'm just not that type of person, you know. So you don't know what's going on in people's lives. But what I will tell you is this. If you keep a good relationship with your team, they might be more willing to open up to you and tell you, hey, I know I'm not doing what you said I should be doing. I know I'm not following the system the way you said, even though I told you I was going to do it. But I got life going on right now. I didn't quit. But at the same time, I don't need you out there coming at me, yelling at me about why I'm not doing the business the way you want me to do the business, because I don't need another boss right now. I just need your support and your love. And maybe if you would have just reached out to me and said, hey, how you doing? I would have been more interested in telling you what's going on with me, and then you could help me. Sometimes it is backwards like that. And it takes that extra genuine contact with you as a leader, caring about somebody, for them to know you care, just like a prospect. So then they're more comfortable with saying, hey, you know what? Let's focus on this first. Let's get that out the way. And now that we've gotten that out the way, now I can help you with your business. Now you're more happy, you're more driven, you're more willing to do your business because maybe the thing that you're complaining about or you're upset about is tied to money or time, which the business opportunity can fix. But you weren't focused on that because life was just too close to your face that you weren't worried about the opportunity. Even though you know it works logically, emotionally, you just weren't ready to hear it right then. Even though you've been in the business for like 2 years, you know it. You just weren't ready to freaking hear it right now. I don't want to hear this crap. I don't want to hear about everything and all the ways that it can hypothetically help me, because right now I'm just dealing with this one thing right now that I got to get through. You know what I'm saying? And that happens to all of us. That's why the opportunity goes like this with us. You know what I'm saying? It happens to me all the time. And that's something that I had to realize as a leader, because I'm sitting there going through it myself, and then when I see my downline not doing what I want them to do, or not getting on training, or not attending meetings, or not going to corporate events, I get pissed off, and I'm like, why aren't they coming? But it's the same reason why I didn't go, 2 months ago, or it's the same reason why I didn't dial into some training. But because they didn't tell me that they were going through something, I felt like they were just being lazy, when really they just had a legitimate reason for taking a step back. And there's nothing wrong with that. That is the beauty of being a CEO of your own business. So how do you become an attractive leader? Here's how. You have to remember, you treat your team better than your prospects. We cuddle and coddle. I'm going to say, but we cuddle and coddle our prospects. Most of us understand at this point in life that Hey, your prospects are gold. We treat them with the utmost respect because we're trying to get their business without looking like we're trying to sell them something. Well, guess what? Your team is way more valuable than your prospects. So the way you treat your prospects, keep going. But the way you treat your team, way better than that. Okay? Your team is committed. They deserve that extra respect. You treat them with that respect. You reach out to them and you be genuine. You treat them like the best friends you ever had. And you genuinely check on them on a regular basis and find out, how can I help you? I am a leader in this company. I need to help you. I'm going to reach out to you. I'm committed to you. I want to build a better relationship with you. So what does that entail? That means, if you have to create an event, I just did it. Create an event. No business opportunity meeting, nothing tied to the business, but I want to get to know you better. If you have people that are in your team that are local to you, why don't you try and get together with them? Hang out with them on a regular basis. Find out more about their life. We end up not always enrolling, most likely not enrolling our close friends. We might end up enrolling people that we don't really know that much about. And we haven't really taken the time to build a personal relationship with them because we're just so busy building our business. So why don't you just create like a social event and invite your downline only, no upline, no sideline, nothing. Invite them to this event. Tell them, bring their prospects with them and tell them to tell their prospects there will not be a business opportunity presentation. I just want to get to know you better, build a better relationship with you, and let's just have fun. You know what that does? That establishes trust. They know there's no presentation involved, so they know when they come, they're not going to be sold anything. They're not going to be, you're not going to try and take their money or anything. You just want to have fun with them and learn more about them and build that relationship, establish that relationship, and tell them we're doing this on a regular basis because I want to continue to grow this friendship. And the best way to do that is to create events where you want to come to them and you want to be open and you want to be free and just be you without worrying about, I gotta show up in a suit or I gotta be professional because they're trying to show this opportunity and I want them to know I'm a business person. No. If you want to have a couple drinks, not get drunk, but if you want to have a couple drinks and just relax, or you just want to be chill, or you want to show your favorite recipe, or bring your children along, whatever, just be calm, just be you. Create that atmosphere for them so that they know if they decide to join your business, and if they decide to join your team, this is what they can expect. They can expect for you to be genuine with them and for you to be, not always about the business, just a regular person who wants to understand people and get to know them and build relationships and really have their back. Most of the time, people don't do the business because they don't believe in themselves and they don't think anybody else believes in them either. Even after they join your opportunity, they don't trust you as a leader. They don't think you have their back as a leader because if they did, they would confide in you and they would freaking do what it is that you say. Even if they don't believe in themselves, they would do it because you said so. But you know what? If they don't believe in you or themselves, they're not going to do it. You have to give them a reason. And sometimes their own why is not enough because they might know, hey, I have a legitimate why, but I don't think that Tanaya and Team DSF is going to get me out of that situation. So I'm not going to put my money into her. And even if I did put my money into her, I'm not going to continue to put my money into this thing that she brought on because I don't think she really has my best interest at heart. But you know what? If Tanaya is constantly checking on me and if Tanaya is constantly plugging into what's going on with me and she's not just about the business, she's really about me, maybe I'll trust her and I'll do this sacrifice because it is a sacrifice. It's an ongoing sacrifice until you make a profit, you get a return on your investment and you start making a profit. It's an ongoing sacrifice for distributors to join your business and to continue to put money into their business for their monthly auto ship until they get a return on their investment and until they get a legitimate profit that is enough money for them to justify all of the money that they put in before that. It's a sacrifice. And why should they continue to sacrifice with your team if your team is not bringing anything of value? You have to bring value. You have to brand yourself as a person, as a leader who genuinely cares about their team, has proven to get the team to an elevated level, you know, you included. You need to elevate yourself. You need to be centered, and you need to make sure your team is elevated and they are centered. And if they're not, then you need to figure out what it is that you're doing wrong as a leader and fix it, because your team is going to fall apart. Okay. And that's something that I'm working towards right now with my team. I want their trust, not because I'm trying to make money off of them, but because I'm trying to be financially free, and I want my team to be financially free for themselves, outside of me, okay? And I want them to grow their own teams that are financially free and have time freedom, because they deserve that. That's why I asked them to join this opportunity with me, because they deserve it. It's all about them. I'm going to get to where I need to go, but I want them to get to where they need to go, and that's what's going to get me to where I need to go. So you need to figure out where the disconnect is in your team, and why your downline is not confiding in you and is not trusting you and is not responding to you, and what you need to do as a leader to fix it. Yes, it's some things that they need to do on their own to fix themselves, but what you only can control is what you need to fix as a leader. Let them figure out themselves. You just fix yourself as a leader, and you fix your team. You find the right people that are ready for this opportunity, and you be consistent. And as loyal as you are to your prospects, you need to be more than loyal to your team, because they're the ones that have invested in you as a leader. They could have joined anybody else in your company, but they chose you because they trusted you. You promised them something without you even saying it, and you need to honor that. So think about what you can do to be more attractive as a leader, and let's make it happen. So this is your girl, Tanaya-Marcia Silhouette. This is your Team DSF Weekly Business Training. Hey, China. Hey, Richard. I see you. Hey, Graham. And I'm going to go ahead and end this training. I appreciate y'all for getting on. Have a good evening. Peace.